So I'm Rob Herron from Millington, Michigan.
And what is this?
This is my 1967 International Lodestar that has the drivetrain from a Fleet Star, a 71. And just in the past 4 months, my wife and I, put this 1963 Cree travel trailer on the back in lieu of the grain body that it had previously.
Well, it looks like it was built like this, basically.
That was the goal as always with trucks and any other thing that you do in life, budgets of time and finances are the limiting factor. So we did the best we could with what we had of each of those things.
And you were telling me it was pretty rough. The camper part was in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, we literally bought it for $700. It was rougher than I thought when I made the deal.
Were those windows on it though?
Yes,
that
was the reason I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted that look. All but one window was salvageable, so there's plexiglass and one behind the cab. But other than that, they were functional and complete.
And where did you find the truck portion?
The truck came out of the right here, close to here, then the thumb in Deckerville, in Michigan, and then the camper was actually manufactured in Michigan too.
Well, that's neat.
I can't remember the town, but regardless, Cree was a Michigan company.
Were you also manufactured in Michigan?
I was as well, so yes. So it fit, everything makes sense.
And even the engine.
Yes, exactly. Detroit diesel, which was not the original, obviously. That was came out of the Fleet Star.
So you put that in there?
Yep. So I bought the Lodestar originally with intents on a very low budget, maybe roddy original drivetrain kind of process. But I'm this isn't perfect, but I'm a little OCD, so I had to do something more, and I just could not. I'm not a gas engine person. My dad was a mechanic, and he could tune that engine with his eyes closed, and I do diesels. I don't have the patience for carburetors, so out came the gas engine, and I bought a 71 Fleet Star that was pretty rotted, but had a low mile. This is only a 200 and some odd thousand mile drivetrain. So
the camper was put on it 4 months ago.
Yep.
How long has this part taken?
So the original Lodestar got purchased in 2019, and then about a year later, in early 2020, I bought the Fleet Star, and then spent about a year and a half building the original truck before the camper.
So it was your COVID project?
It was. It was. When we couldn't work, I spent, probably 50 hours a week in the barn working on that with the materials that I could get my hands on at the time anyway. Taught myself to hand letter. And I did everything. Sure. I think the only thing I farmed out was I did not build the drive shaft. But other than that, I did everything myself as well as I could do it anyway. Getting that motor to fit was a bit of a challenge, but I lied. The upholstery I didn't do myself either. So the motor, it was a 671, was never in a Lodestar because the cab is too close to the ground and the butterfly front clip, it just doesn't work. But
so was this something you were planning, or was it just
no,
hey, you know what would be cool?
It just happened. It was actually December 26th. My wife and I were laying in bed the day after Christmas in the morning, and I was, as usual, my bad habit of perusing Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this Fleet Star for sale, and the next day my dad and I and my daughter were on our way with the trailer to go get it. So I just immediately, I saw the cab and I knew it shared a cab, and I said, well, if it shares a cab, I can swap firewalls and make it work. There's no way it can't.
So then it's the same engine, or this engine still fit in the place of the engine that was there.
Correct, with the doghouse anyway. Yeah. So the original in the cab of the Lodestar, it never had that doghouse, but that's a factory international doghouse out of the the bigger truck. And this cab is blocked up about 3/4 of an inch. I still had to remove like the tachometer drive gear. None of that stuff fit. But
so it's a tight squeeze for a passenger.
It's very tight. Yeah, you get maybe one passenger.
Sit sideways.
Yeah, that was I cut that seat down. That's the original bent sheet section down, and I gave the measurements to my upholsterer, and he made it work.
All right, so tell me about, before we even look inside, I'll try to hide it a little bit, the different patterns on here.
Yep.
You mentioned that
was what caught my eye when I first saw this for sale. So it was all white. It had been painted numerous times. I found some teal underneath and some gold, but I like this color combo, and I loved this diamond pattern on that band.
Which is not paint. That's like the texture.
Yeah, that's I put paint over it, but that texture is underneath. That's a random. I think that's a Kia color, if I recall. And then
I won't hold it against you.
No, it just worked. It's what worked. And then that is that's a Chrysler color that matches my Ford L9000 that I pull this with.
And the stripes that are there are just
and you can see
metal,
all
right?
obviously you can see all the old patina where people had it had been brush painted probably more than once. It's all there. I sanded very, very loosely sanded it and then just top coated with base clear.
And more cool jealousy windows on the door here, and the stripe goes up the back.
Yep, I put that little kind of curve on it just to make it sort of make sense. And
an air conditioner that you added too, I'm guessing?
Yes, I added that.
Had to.
Yeah, because truck show season is summertime, and so in Ashland, when it was, as you remember, 96 degrees,
that was the worst.
we ran the generator and the AC a lot.
Alrighty.
And a lot of the design stuff on the inside is my wife's. We obviously worked on it together, but it was her chance to kind of do what she wanted. Like I say, we still have to trim it, and we've got some repairs to make that the construction process damaged.
But you did this all yourselves?
Yes, did everything ourselves. Yeah.
And it's very homey inside.
That was the goal. We wanted it to be kind of period correct, kind of mid-century, modern-y, whatever, 1960s. Some of it's leftover stuff. That's black trim from our house.
Well, then it is homey if it's leftovers from your own home. Cold period light here.
Yes, I repurposed. So the one in the ceiling is new, but those kind of gold ones on the side are original from the trailer, and I have no reason to believe that they're not from 1963. So there's one back there too. Reused little bits and pieces. The layout is totally different from what it was, other than that the cabinetry in the front stayed. There was more cabinetry. We just got rid of a lot of it. The shower is my least favorite part because old campers are crooked and they don't lend themselves, as I found, to running bond pattern on tile. But that's okay. It fits the kind of kitschy. It fits the whole thing.
And it's all in one, so everything's doesn't take up much space.
No, that's what we didn't have much of.
You get some privacy.
14 feet isn't very much when you're trying to fit 3 or 4 people into it, so we made it work with what we have.
So do they have sleeping bags or cots or something?
No, that's just a
futon?
A very small futon, so we can slide it to the left, and so we can fit. We have 3 daughters. We can fit 2 of them at any one time.
Sorry, you're staying home or sleeping on the floor.
Exactly. Well, my oldest isn't real big on truck shows, so it sort of works out okay. And then all the batteries and water tank and pump and all that is underneath the bed, so it's out of sight.
So is this its second trip?
This is, yes. It's only its second trip. So we didn't stay in it last night because we're only about 35 minutes from here. So so we just left it overnight. So we'll stay in it again when we go to kind of our big show that we like is St. Ignace every fall in September. So we'll stay there for that one. That was what we really wanted it done for. Ashland was kind of a fluke. We were looking at hotels, and I said, I don't want to rent a hotel. Let's just finish.
To drive.
Yeah, that was our what forced us to finish. We said, let's just give ourselves this deadline, and so we got it to where you see it right now. In the over Labor Day weekend, in the next few weeks, we've got some time to finish some of the trim and get it a little farther for St. Ignace. So.
And you have a nice heated shop you can work in over the winter?
I do, yes. Well, this does not fit in it, though.
Oh!
So, no, it did. It used to. It was always, that's where it lived. But the camper made it, it's only a 10-foot door, so it doesn't fit anymore. So my Ford will fit, but it lives in a barn at work, but it's not heated, unfortunately.
Okay. But at least it's inside.
Yes, it's inside. It's out of the weather. So
if anything needs done over the winter,
we can keep it protected and keep it undercover, and it's nice and dry.
It has so many windows. It's nice.
Yes, that's the beautiful thing. Is the air conditioner is really nearly unnecessary unless it's much above 80 because it gets such a good breeze. There was a fair amount of engineering that had to happen to make it be transportable because as much as it's a better drivetrain than the V8 gas that it came with, it's still a loud 60-mile-an-hour truck. So in order to facilitate getting it farther distances, it involved a different trailer and smaller tires. I had to go to 255 rubber. So we end up at the highest point, we're at 13'4". So
but that thing drives the speed limit, I'm guessing.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that truck can cruise at 70 miles an hour, and so still not a. It's still not brand new, but it's much more comfortable.
What year is the truck you haul it with?
That's an '87.
Okay, so you probably get some looks driving down
Yeah,
the road.
it's still a quote unquote old, I guess. I don't feel like it's old, but I guess it is now. But it's an air conditioning truck and certainly fine for long distances.
When you've taken it to these 2 shows so far,
Mm-hmm.
in the matter of at least driving it off the trailer, or
Yeah.
driving it onto the trailer, or camping in it once,
Yeah.
have you had to make a list of things that need done to it?
Oh yes, yes. You find things as you use it. I mean, kind of like anything, but yeah, we found just different things that move that we didn't expect to move. And then of course it's an old truck that's a restoration. You know, it's a 60-some-year-old truck. So, like yesterday when I went to start it to pull it off the trailer, I could tell it rolled over slightly slower, and the alternator is not charging anymore. So I may have to jump it to get it back on the trailer. So it's, those kind of things are what happens. So there's always stuff like that.
Do you truck? I see the landscape. I assume you do landscaping.
I do. Yeah, I'm part owner of a landscape company, but I've had a CDL. I've driven trucks, but I don't drive. It's not my, it's just part of what I have to do for my career. But my first word was truck when I was, whatever, 14 months old.
Dismay.
Yeah, my lunch, exactly. She was pretty bummed because Dada was second. But I don't know why, but it stuck for the rest of my life. 44 years later, I still can't kick it.